because yikes. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy that you wanted to join me today because today I am going to talk about 5 things or 5 zero waste swaps that I do not necessarily appreciate or that I definitely do not recommend to other people. Things that I have tried myself that just didn't work or things I just don't appreciate and care for. For someone who is often described as hyper positive, it's nice to get these sort of small rants out of your system once in a while because no one is positive all the time, and there are within the zero waste community also things that I do not agree with all the time, and I have been doing this for 5 years at this point, so I have some experience with some things that I thought could be cool to share, and I would love to hear your opinions on these as well. Obviously, this is often my personal preference, and if your preference is different, that is a-okay, completely fine. This is my opinion, and I thought it could be cool to share, so let's get started. The first zero waste swap that I want to talk about is one of the first things I found that you could do, or one of the first things that were recommended to me to do, and that was making your own toothpaste. A recipe usually consisting of half parts baking soda and half parts coconut oil, and then essential oil for taste and smell. And there are lots of issues with this recipe that I thought could be good to talk about. Some of this is personal preference. There's also simply just the fact that, okay, let's just do it. First of all, I hate the consistency of coconut oil in my mouth. I absolutely despise the oil feel in my mouth. I tried to have this as my go-to everyday toothpaste for quite some time when I just started zero waste, and I was miserable. I often end up not brushing my teeth because I just did not like the toothpaste that much. If it works for you, then it's completely fine. I absolutely hated it, and I'm not going to recommend it to anybody else, also because I think oral hygiene and dental health is really important, and while it might work for some people, it might not for others. I have very sensitive and weak teeth, so I only use things that my dentist approves of, which is dental taps, which both comes with and without fluoride. But another reason why I'm never recommending this recipe to anyone is also because the recipe calls for essential oils. And that is fine on your skin or in the air, but I cannot stress this enough, essential oils do not go inside the body. You are not to use essential oils in any recipes that you are consuming because they are super duper concentrated and super duper toxic. You can have severe health issues if you ingest too much essential oil, so I would not recommend doing that at all. It's really not a good idea. And I've been promoting this previously when I was doing it myself, and I didn't really think too much of it, but it's a whole other situation now. I am not recommending essential oils in food or in any products that go in your mouth. Number 2, and I'm probably going to get some opposing opinions on this. Again, this is my personal preference, but I'm not necessarily recommending stasher bags to people. Not because they're made out of silicone. I have products made out of silicone, like my silicone baking mat that I love, that I always recommend. I just hate washing them so much. I hate cleaning the stasher bags to a point where I just like to forget I own them. Sometimes Jens is using them, and that's completely fine, and if I need something and I don't have any other options, I will use them because they are objectively quite handy, but I just hate washing them and cleaning them so much that So instead of using a stasher bag, I'm using 2 plates on top of each other. I am using reused jars for stuff. I am using wax paper. I will go through any other option before choosing the stasher bags because I think cleaning them is so inconvenient. Number 3 is something that I've seen on quite a lot of zero waste swaps spreadsheets, and it's bamboo or wooden cotton swabs. And the thing is, they're much better than plastic cotton swabs, but they're still not ideal because most of the time they're actually still disposable and single use. And if we can find something that is reusable rather than disposable, I am always there for it. So I have never really tried the wooden bamboo cotton swabs. I don't think it's necessary for me to try them because I have a mimikaki stick, which is reusable, and I also have a last swap. if that makes sense. And I love using both these things. They can be used hundreds of times before you have to discard them or before they break, and I think that's a much better option. Because the thing is, with the disposable cotton swabs, even though they're made plastic free, they're still used with cotton, which is a very, very resource intensive material to make. I have a video about cotton if you're interested, and they're made with wood or bamboo. And even though the impact of a single product, single tiny swab, might be very low, it's nothing compared to a reusable product, and we should strive towards reusables rather than disposables. So I am not recommending disposable plastic-free cotton swabs to anyone. If you have any of these products, by the way, feel free to use them. Like, I'm not saying that they're inherently bad, but if you have to buy a new product, you can look for a reusable one rather than a disposable one. This is not a call to throw everything away that doesn't fit Gita Mary's zero waste swab ideals. Like, that's not what we're doing. Number 4 is homemade laundry detergent. This is another in the homemade series, and there are tons of things that you can make yourself in your house that I think are amazing, like the homemade body butter that I've made tons of times and that I love way more than any product I could ever buy. But some of the things you can make from home, they're just not for me, at least. And I've tried making the homemade detergent, laundry zero waste detergent before, and I just did not like it at all. My clothes came out very stiff and odd smelling, and it didn't work. And maybe it was because of other variables and factors that it did not work, but I just simply don't think it's worth it for me to make when I have great alternatives already. So I'm not going to experiment more with the homemade detergent thing. Instead, I'm using both soap nuts and detergent sheets from Trua. Both of these things are absolutely incredible and really gets the job done. So I don't really see the need to make this thing that I don't end up being super happy with anyway. And the last thing that I am not recommending to anyone, or that I at least do not like a lot myself, is something that I actually have recommended to tons of people before, and maybe I would, the circumstances and conditions. Okay, it's the crystal deodorant. It's the salt crystal deodorant. And the thing is, it does work, I think, in terms of eliminating smell and sweat and all that kind of stuff, but it just hurts for me to use so much. I have really sensitive skin under my arms, in my armpits, and sometimes, depending on the weather conditions and what I'm doing, that skin is tearing itself apart. It's kind of like psoriasis, but not really. It's just a really sensitive skin condition. And the times when I've used the salt crystal deodorant has been, yeah, like rubbing salt in an open wound. It hurts so bad. So if people are asking me about deodorants, I have several that I would love to recommend, like the one from Relove or the one from Zero Waste Path. I love both of those so much. And I am also saying there is also this crystal deodorant that, in terms of smell and scent and like all that kind of stuff, I think works fine. Unless, of course, you're doing really heavy workouts and you're sweating a lot, then it's not super efficient. But if you have sensitive skin under your arms, I'm not recommending it, because it's going to be so super duper painful. No. So again, not recommending ever, ever, ever is a big word, and I think I just came up with that sort of phrase to make this more dramatic than it had any right to be. These are just things that I am not doing, or things I've outgrown in some way or another, and I think that's completely okay to live in a sustainable lifestyle in that sort of way, where you have a product and you try it out, or you use this recipe and it kind of works, but you're not really there for it, and then you sort of evolve and find new things and find new alternatives. And that's what it's all about. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, or you can tell me down below which products you didn't really like or which products you're not recommending. Have a really great day and take good care of yourselves until next time. Bye! Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green zero waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!